must disqualify us. And that one is on page 6, and it's on the Osun gubernatorial election. Also, on Sunday Tribune, you see Africa faces outbreak of cholera, monkeypox, Marburg, CDC alerts, and it's on page 26. Also on Sunday Tribune, you see APC governors reaffirm support for Tinubu, says FG's reform must improve lives, protect dignity. That's on page 7. Increasing number of APC governors shows Nigerians' trust in us, says Sanwo-Olu, as I did just say. Also on Sunday Sun, you see tax reforms. Don't listen to the detractors. Groups tell FIRS chairman. Those are the stories on Sunday Sun. You also see disquiet over Tinubu's ambassadorial list, and that's on page 7. A senator says it violates principle of federal character. Well, those are the stories on Sunday Tribune right there. And that is the size of our package on the newspaper review segment. One very, very prominent story you got to see in stems through the papers is the APC governors backing Tinubu and his reforms and saying, yes, they are solidly behind the president, and he is making a lot of efforts and strides toward curbing insecurity. And we also saw, Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, come out to say the rise in APC government is a show that Nigerians have trust in the government of the day. Well, that's a wrap. We'll take a short break now. You're still watching TMI on Independent Television. We'll come back with more in just a little bit. Stay tuned.
Richard didn't want to die.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about...
what I said.
So
So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them or are dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
TV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
people barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
matters.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said.
So
So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
matters.
women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
The Ekoko masquerades from Ute village, whose cult is connected with Obaewari and his mother, Elere, appear on this occasion to bless the Oba. Ekoko is a ritual masquerade that dances to please the guests and the Oba.
ITV, certainly. ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking
That's
about
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see when they are dressing them up and dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe.
That's what
And these
happens.
women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Many thanks again for staying with us on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television, TMI. Surprise, surprise, I'm sure you're surprised to see me on the show this lovely Sunday morning. Well, this is to bring you great things, glad tidings, and wish you the very best in the month of December. One month we all look forward to, especially if you're a Christian. But even if you're not a Christian, you also look forward to the month of December because it's the last month of the year that ushers in the new year. So there are a whole lot of festivities, activities, and wining and dining. Some will go through the extra mile just to ensure that they celebrate big time. And then by January, they start licking their wounds, so to speak, because all the resources would have been expended for Christmas and New Year celebration. That's the height of foolishness. So whatever you're doing now, spend wisely, plan or work based on your budget, based on your capacity. You can actually have Christmas every day, yeah, but ensure that you don't overdo things. So when these festivities are over, you don't find yourself in a state of quagmire. Anyways, I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. Of course, my colleague Chukwufunanya Adigwe kicked off the show much earlier. She's backstage putting one or two things together. So much to enjoy in today's show. We looked at the papers already, but something struck me in the papers review where the Gani Adams, Are Onakakafo, said governors in the Southwest don't want them to intervene as relates to the fight against insecurity. There are some warnings of the possibilities of more attacks, the warnings, for the federal government, state government, and even local government, and every individual. So if we have these warnings, and specifically in the Southwest, where there's a lot of politicking going on, the governors are reticent, reluctant, allowing for local intervention to deal with the issue, then there is a big problem. So we're going straight to our first conversation on the show this lovely Monday morning. And I've got former Senior Special Assistant to the State Governor on Youth Mobilization, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, public affairs commentator, political activist, civil society activist. I'd like to thank very especially my good friend, Comrade Collins Amadi Osara. Collins, thank you for joining us on the show this lovely Sunday morning, even at such a very short notice. Thank you so much, Collins.
Sonny Duke, good morning. Good morning, Sonny Duke, my director of PhDs. I want to say very big morning to you and all the listeners out there. Can you hear me, please?
I can barely hear what you're saying, Collins. I don't know, maybe it's a network glitch or something. If you can just be more audible, I can barely hear what you're saying.
I said good morning. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? I think your engineer should do something. The fault should be from your end. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Having a bit of a technical glitch to have Collins speak to us on the show this morning. Collins, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, please?
Okay, we'll take a short break. Let's just put this together properly. And then, of course, we'll bring Collins back on air so we can talk more on the issues that are at the front burner at the moment. Please stay with us on TMI. I'll be back with you in just a moment. All right, thanks again for staying with us on the show. Lovely Sunday morning, TMI on the ITV network. We're looking at the state of the nation matters arising. We had, of course, Comrade Collins Amadi Osagai joined us earlier, but we couldn't continue with the conversation because of our technical glitch. Collins, you're back with us, and I'm sure you can hear me loud and clear, just as much as I can hear you too.
I can hear you. Good morning, Sonny Duke.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's look at the state of affairs in the country right now. Insecurity is literally taking center stage, both at the global level, at the national level, and the local level. Some commendations have come from Mr. President with the appointment of a new Minister of Defense, who is just the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff. But I saw a story this morning that some governors are reluctant in allowing local structures to take care of this challenge of insecurity, particularly in the Southwest. If you look at one of the papers this morning, I think that was the Sunday edition of the Daily Sun. Yeah. Sunday Sun. On the Sunday Sun this morning, Southwest governors don't want us to intervene. This is coming from Are Gani Adams. What do you make of this worsening situation of insecurity and some of the policy thrust of the present administration in dealing with the issue?
Thank you very much. First, I want to greet listener at home again and congratulate my brother on your new academic achievement of your double PhD degrees. May he amount to more grace in Jesus' name. And in going to the question, you can imagine where Southwest, for example, normal Nigerian on a normal thinking will believe that they will be first to say, oh, they have empowered their own youth to assist them in curbing and fighting insecurity. But what you have seen today or heard today have simply shown that the government is very organized. Not that their assistants will not be good, but would they become overbearing? Would they do more than they are expected to do? Would they take that advantage to begin to slaughter even those that are insurgents or those that are just doing their own normal business? Or would they go after their normal perceived enemies? Would they do it the way the law will expect them to do it? Probably that was why they have asked them to please hold on. Please hold on. Not saying we don't need your assistance. Over the time, government have always called for local assistance, local vigilantes. Let's put heads together. But wanting it at the point probably they are wanting it, it's something that government should worry about so that it will not become mass slaughter activities, all in the name of wanting to secure your territory or wanting to secure your border, or begin to drive business persons who have come, tagging them that they are sponsoring Boko Haram or sponsoring insurgents. Because you know, government also have to be careful before some people will do a new video and send to the United States and say Christians or Muslims are being slaughtered just based on their religion, not knowing that personal hatred were added to wanting to assist government to combat insecurity. So I want to applaud those governors for probably telling them we have to draw a map. We have to, most of them are asking for state police today. So if state police come on board in earnest, it's an opportunity for them to, to join and then help government to fight insecurity. Now, new opportunity will be open for people to join the police and the army. So those who really want to show more patriotism is opportunity to join these cadets so that they can help to curb insecurity. It's all still the same job. But saying you should be giving license and you open your own new votes for government to begin to pay you so much money there, and at the time they refuse to pay what you want, those arms you already acquired, you will now start using them against the state. So that is why we must be careful when we accept offers. Just like you saw one presidential candidate the last time was saying, so long Americans said they want to come ahead, I will tell them to come. After they have started the job, then I will not start to discuss with them. No, you don't do that. In governance, you must know what best this A want to do or what B want to do. That will not help you in accepting those offers. I want to thank them, but in all share, let them also put more mechanism in place to making sure they curb all they need to curb.
You talked about, the governors in the Southwest not being circumspect in terms of what they are doing in responding to this insecurity challenge. You know very well that the challenge of insecurity is local. And if you must deal with it, you must be able to put together an organic local security structure to help to tackle it. I mean, that's the reason why people are, advocating for state police, vigilantes, and stuff like that. So are you saying Southwest governors not allowing people like Gani Adams in their environment to help to mitigate this challenge is the best thing that could happen in the Southwest? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. If I'm not forgetting, Southwest states were the first set of people that created security outfits, local security outfits. Even in the pressure of the former president, Buhari not wanting to give them the nod to go ahead, they went ahead. Those governors came together, they went ahead. And their operation to a very large extent was successful. And that body still functions today. Gani probably want to create his own. Gani will not want to be under anybody. His own record too. He has been arrested, jailed, though with the intervention of government, he was extradited back to Nigeria. and was formally released, and probably also organized himself. I know all was seen agitation, you know, for the people, which we agree. But government is not what you do on the basis of sentiment, on the basis of I said I wanted to help, they asked me not to help. Government must take time and look inwardly. If those other bodies are no longer there, and there is also no offer for people to come in, then he can offer himself to become a police. If he's educated, his rank, he will start from a certain rank. He can offer himself to join the army and his team, or he can offer himself to join the local vigilante that has been officially working in that area in the southwest. So it's not about creating you a duplication. All this they are asking is duplication. It's not necessary. They will all still be funded, and sometimes they will be contradicting themselves, and they will also not be clashing. Before you know what's happening, it will not become a court group activities. They will tell you these also court members are in this other side, while the other court members are in the other side. So I think self-organization is important, both for individual and for government and for organization. I really want to applaud those governors for not being emotional and sentiment and say our own. And we must do it the way some persons want it. So I think with time we will get all over this. And on their own, they have not so been sleeping. You will agree with me that some of the governors have been doing the best they can. But hopefully the system was already completely collapsed. At the time Tajuma was telling us about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that even 10 years ago, that they have surrounded Nigeria. They have come in through Niger. They have come in through Benin. They have come in through Niger and some other Mali neighboring borders. That they have come in the name of jihad and what have you. That government should be proactive. And at the time, government wanted to be proactive. I wanted to acquire more facilities. And the United States and some other countries refused to oblige Jonathan the opportunity. And he went forth to packing $1 into an aeroplane to South Africa that was finally seized. So all these were attempts that probably didn't go in the right way. But still, we are still together. We are still doing our best, though there are issues to be addressed. Thank God the present administration had called state of emergency on security. That means no one is sleeping, no one is lying, including the citizen. The best we can do now is to quick and share information to government when we hear or when we see. And when you see, you say you told the police and the police is not responding, quickly put it on social media. Once it's on social media, it will go far immediately. When the insurgent find out that people already have put it on social media, even themselves will run quickly. So I think these are all the things we need to do to help ourselves.
Insecurity for a moment. The state of the economy is also a major talking point nationally in terms of the quality of life, the prices of food, and how things are going with Nigerians on a general level. But there are those who would easily say they are commending Mr. President for his policies. Now, once these policies are not trickling down to affect the lives of the average Nigerians, I mean, can we say that the president is doing well, is doing enough? Because it looks like, as some will say, politics of 2027 has taken center stage. We're seeing in Osun State where, you know, the party primaries has taken its toll on the state, with the APC being torn apart as a result of some of the disqualification. I don't know what you make of this trend, basically.
Yes, I can hear you. The truth is that governance must continue, whether insurgent or no insurgent. Governance must continue. It doesn't matter how we seize it, convenient. It doesn't matter how we seize it. Governance must continue. For the fact that they are killing people will not stop people from going to market to buy food. For the fact that things probably are not going well or going well the way some people want it, doesn't mean we will not wake up, we will not sleep and wake up the next day. So that is why government is a continuity. Even if 10 people from number 1 to 10 if it dies today, or 15 governors die today, the next day governance will continue. Somebody must take charge. So the issue of APC activities is an activity just like PDP and other political parties, that they must do their party activities. Those who are running party activities are different from those who are running administrative activities of the country. APC is not Nigeria. Nigeria government, Nigeria president is a president for all. But APC activities is just an activity for its members, though in extension Nigerians. But that has nothing to do. The only thing that can happen in such cases is that when there are major issues in the country, as a way of solidarity, whether ruling party or opposition party, they will declare, a free day either to celebrate or to mourn, which is the two things of life. Either you are celebrating or you are mourning. So, but however, activities that happen in Osun is just a normal thing that have happened over the time. It can happen. It's a party affair. Probably it will be addressed within the party leadership. But if it's unable to address, then is there at the end of the day, the activities or problems within the party end them up in court, and they have to fit candidate. It will be unfortunate, though I doubt.
If you just join us, you're on to TMI on the ITV Network Sunday's edition. My guest has been Comrade Collins Amadi-Osangai, former Senior Special Assistant to the State Governor on Youth and Community Mobilization, giving us his perspectives on some of the issues that are at the front burner in the country right now, the state of security, the state of economy, and then the projections for 2027. And that seems to be a major talking point. There are concerns, especially by some analysts, that the popularity of President Bola Tinubu is waning in the build-up to the 2027, and that's because from that perspective, because of the poor policy implementation, because of the challenge of insecurity and all of that. Do you subscribe to these perspectives, Collins?
One man's food is another man's poison. And no matter how you try, to give governance, there will be persons who will always disagree with you. You will agree with me that at the time he came on board, Mr. President, Nigeria was completely gone, and everything that was left was just was skirmished. We were just, every agencies, every institution had collapsed. There was nothing. He came, and he did not come to painting. He told you we are going to start overhauling. Take it or leave it today. Even on your national dailies that you even read today, you will agree with me that things are improving majestically in a way that the people are surprised. How come within this short period of this worry and this other period, things are getting better? When you go to the market, you cannot compare yesterday market and today market. It's not possible. Except we want to deceive ourselves, we just want to continue to bring our nation down. I go to the market almost all the time because I'm a chef. I cook. I cook every day. 6 days, in short, 5 days in a week, I cook food for people to eat. And I go to the market, which is the basic, through which people have been crying and yearning. You will agree with me, things have reduced with over 40%. But we don't want these things to happen in a day because we are also dealing with global economy. Economy does not operate in isolation. Nigeria is not an isolated state from all other states in the world. So you can ask anybody in the United States or in UK, ask them how much was a cup of Milo last year and how much is a cup of Milo today. They will tell you the reality. They don't need to lie about it. In UK, you see people protest of hunger. In Scotland, just name them. People protest every day because that was why before now, the World Bank and the the United Nations has set up a target for all countries to develop, which was start 2020 Millennium Development Goals. It was started for the whole world over 40 years ago. That by 2020, countries that have not built infrastructure, countries that have not worked on basic institutions to help sustain their country will have problems. Because at this time, the world economy is going to collapse. Things will not be easy. You will not have the time to start building roads and building schools and building health centers. What you will not leverage upon will just be helping to work on the stomach problems of the people, which is indirect where you talk about feeding or subsidizing health institutions, subsidizing people's school, not to talk of stop building roads. But leaders over the time fail to yield to this, even when the World Bank and other international agencies like UNAID and all that were supporting different countries, probably African countries, to help them grow and move from the level they are. Instead, they were sharing the money and playing with it. Go to health sector, NACA, many of them, they were supporting them financially, but they will put their younger brother, their sisters, their husband, their housegirl in this very institution, using them to siphon the money that was supposed to make for the people. That is where we are now. And we have a lot of deficit. The deficit we have today is that the president has to go back, because you cannot start working with 2020 Millennium Development Agenda because none of those things were fulfilled. Now he's building new coastal roads, he's building federal roads with concrete and pipes, he's building health centers, he's building infrastructure in all segments. You can see governors are building roads, major roads in their states, because at the time, most of the state governors and local government have failed. In many of the local government, you can see how they are misbehaving. Even when some have partial autonomy today, that they are making some money, they are unable to do anything. When they visit here to here, they will carry video, carry bodyguard, carry horses to be following them up and assume they are doing something. I am from local government. You are from local government. We don't want to be personal to start mentioning some names and performances of local government chairmen. If we do, you will throw off your speech and say all were just paparazzi. Sometimes when people have not gotten power, they use all means. They want to be in power at all costs. When they get to power, their pomposity, their attitude become unbearing. Their people become far from them. They become acting as if they are God. So even from ordinary local government chairmen, you can know people and what they can do. So let us appreciate the president for all of his gesture, all of his commitment. Instead, Nigerians should encourage him instead of reducing his strength. But I can assure you that the Asiwaju that I know want to make a lasting legacy, a very lasting legacy that Nigerians will be proud of, that he has already started with all of the investment in the economy, with all of the policies that are beginning to yield fruit. You can see when the central bank
attention should be shifted from Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the state governors because of the huge resources that are accruing to them, and maybe to the local government because also of the huge resources coming to them. Is that what you are saying by this analysis that you've just given?
Yes, what I'm saying is that everyone has his part to play. I would not expect the president to come and remove the waste that smells around New Benin or the waste that is smelling around New Market. No, that is not the job of the president. I will not expect the president to come and tie the lane within Second East Circular, Osarodon Street, that has been bad for over 25 years, for example, because those are very inner roads meant for local government to do. Now, if they are failing to do all of that, for example, are you not expecting me that I should be crying the president have not done enough when the local government chairman is collecting money on my behalf and on behalf of the people to use to work for them? Or you now expect me to call the president to come and do inside GRO in Benin City, for example, when I know I have a governor that is supposed or that is to do an holistic job? Thank God the governor of Edo State today, for like 2 months now, we have seen different companies checking out GRO, doing analysis on how they are going to start job earners. When he does that fully, and all the GRA are connected, and the water within the GRA as it go out. Because I have been waiting anxiously, because I have been celebrating Senator Mode Okpebholo for taking the initiative that for 2 months, contractors have been measuring, taking a holistic job, because his own work is not wait and see. So make sure they do something that will be permanent there. And when they finally start job, you think I will not be happy? Today when I go to mobile houses, I see the job going on, for example, the flyovers and what have you. You think I will not be happy. I will be cursing the president because I know someone closer to me is doing something. I passed through Sapele Road this morning and I saw how far they have gone on the flyover job going on and the job ongoing there. You think I will not be happy? Yes, the state government have embarked on all of this. It reduced the burden on the federal. But when the states are collecting and the states are not working, we begin to cry more, and the people will assume that everything is federal. Because the state government then will not talk about how much they are receiving from the federal. And many states today are performing because their local government are also performing.
His best. He started well. When he started, when he came on board, got inaugurated, he removed fuel subsidy. And he explained to Nigerians that the reason for that was to ensure that we have more money for some of the things that he wants to do. And I think by extension, these monies have come to states and even local government. We have on good authority that states are getting more allocation than they used to have. Local government are also getting more allocation than they used to have. But I know that in the days of yore, local government council would tar roads. I'm aware of some local government council chairmen in Edo State, for instance, who tarred roads, 2-kilometer roads, 1-kilometer roads. Then they grade roads. But I can't remember the last time a council chairman tarred a road, especially now that resources have tripled, they've multiplied as a result of the outflows from the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, do you think that the resources accruing to the states in the federation and local government councils in the federation is commensurate with the project that they are doing? When we take the project that state governors across the country, local government council chairmen across the country, they are doing, and then you marry it with the resources that is coming to them, can we be comfortable to say that they are par, that these resources coming from federal allocation is actually being judiciously used, or they are being spent on frivolities?
Yes, that is why the media is very vital. And people like us too are also very vital. You must find out at your own pace, because there will always be time for questioning. It doesn't matter who is there now. Like for my local government, Oredo, where I come from, for example, I am here to, probably there will always be documents that about 800 million, go to the local governments last month or so. So it also now depends how who manages it today have managed it. But if he's unable to tell us how he has managed it, a time must come for questioning. Because there are projects that you must embark on with about 800 million. If you can't speak or show what you spent 800 million for, at the right time, the person may go to jail. So it's just normal. Even a governor or a president, when you are appropriating or when you are receiving money, you should be sure that there will always be time for accountability. That is why the people must come out. If probably what came from FED is not what you have, then you should make it known that this is what I have, this is what I have spent. There must be transparency. These are the projects I have spent it upon. If, even till tomorrow, there are still some states where local government tie roads. It's only in some states that tying road has become a sin before local government, or even grading roads have become sin to some. But in the last few months dispensation, we saw some acting local government chairmen grade roads, and we saw some perform. We saw some put some basic infrastructure on ground before they were extended, probably by their councillors or removed by their councillors. As a leader of a house or as an active chairman, you are there at the mercy of your councillor. Sometimes your performance may not so key to their own activities. Sometimes you may be performing and you don't have manners. Any little thing can make them remove you. Just like a Speaker of the House of Assembly or a Senate President or a Speaker of House of Representatives. You are just equal like your mates. You can be removed at any time if you misbehave. Your misbehavior does not mean you may not be doing your job well. You may shake somebody who did not shake the person well. He may choose to work against you and make sure you are removed. So that is that on one side. But what I'm trying to say in all share with your question, it is good They are receiving so much. After the subsidy removal, they are getting triple of what they used to get. We know that, oh, maybe some person tell you, does money now have value now? Still equate it. At the time money has value, what states get then and what local government get then was not anywhere near. So it's almost the same thing. Now that it does not have value, more now came. So you calculate, if you were buying a bag of cement for 10 naira before and you were receiving allocation of 100,000 naira, now you are buying a bag of cement for 10,000. You are receiving allocation of what 800 million in a month. You can see that you are even still ahead. So approximate 20,000 even for a bag of cement, you can still achieve what you want to achieve.
All right, comrade, as we begin to round up on this abridged version of the program, let me get your take on what you think can be done by the people in holding government accountable to make leadership to be more responsible to the needs of the people, especially in a country like ours that is highly polarized along tribal lines, ethnic lines, religious lines, political lines. When you come all out to criticize government or try to hold government accountable, you are labeled an opposition or working for the opposition. So what is now the fate of the people in trying to ensure that government is accountable, responsible to their needs and aspirations? Because the primary responsibility of governors is to provide welfare, provide security. And if government is not, delivering on this, the people have a right to know. The people have a right to question government. But we've seen a situation wherein when the people come out to do this, they are being criticized and tagged as opposition.
Now, let me tell you, there are very many who come out, whether TV, radio, social media, to criticize government. People in power, they end up still being the one to be employed and appointed and even given bigger position because they already know those people that in some cases they are not reliable. Their criticism, they will continue to insult you, criticize you just to get appointment. There are some, even when you are known for who you are, they may wish you never come on board because they know you have value, you will stand for value, you will defend justice, you will state it the way you have always stated it, even when you support them in most cases. So it's not even about that. It's not about those who criticize. It's about them knowing exactly who you are. Those you see that carries a certain cross that seems as if they have sinned is because people know their value. Those persons know their worth, and for them, they are tagged for it. So as you say the truth, then you bear the consequences. But there are some that look like saying the truth, they end up being the one in the dining table, eating with their two hands. So it's either way. So it depends on who is in charge. Depends on who is the president, depends on who is the governor, and depends on who is the council chairman. Because I stated this because these are people in terms of affairs, in terms of administration, when it comes to delivering services to the people. It is good to always say the truth and say the obvious. It's not just about also throwing down drum or stones at the government. You must make quality recommendation. When the government is doing well, you must state government is doing well and possibly state where government can do better. But not when government is doing well. Okay, when government builds flyover, you begin to criticize. Is it flyover we want to eat? Is it road we want to eat? Will you not make employment? The government ended up making over 7,000 employment. You now also come back and say that employment was planned before by someone else, and he just did it. Let them say he did it, and the other person did not do it. Now you also jump there. You have also criticized. Then the government start to build internal roads again. The internal road will it last? The irons and the rods are not quality. Come on now, those are mere just criticism that shouldn't stand. But when government is doing well, citizens should be upright to say the obvious. Oh, this is fine, but we think this should be the next stage. Our government introduced vigilante, and you feel the people heading it or the people at the time in some segment are not doing well, they are failing. It's also your right to say, oh, government, this is good, but I think we should buy them a set of uniform that will make them look okay, or they should dress like this, they should cut their beards, they should, you make recommendations that can peacefully and easily be accepted and appreciated. But instead, Some will just go out just because they want to demystify, they want to destabilize, they want to conquer that government to the level that the people will hate them. They will make very ruling statements, and they assume when they now start pursuing themselves, they will now assume, oh, because I am criticizing what they are doing because it's bad, that is why they are after me. No, they are not after you. Sometimes when you begin to hit hard unnecessarily, the next person will also want to work so hard to survive his or herself and not mind you. But we hope and pray that our country gets to a level where patriotism becomes our daily bread. When we mean patriotism, it's not about you being appointed or you not being appointed. Because some persons will never talk well of a system that is doing well because they are not appointed. Some people will never talk well of something that can be profitable to the general public because they do not have personal one. I do not subscribe to that kind of idea. When things are working well, let's give it a nod and let's make a better suggestion. And I appeal to all citizens of Edo State too, especially those who go on social media to pump out what they have not verified. Let's always verify. When they say somebody slapped somebody, is there evidence that someone slapped somebody before going out? If they say, oh, somebody fell into a pit and or one politician did this, you have not verified.
Comrade Collins, if there's an allegation of somebody slapped somebody, all right, and if it didn't happen, so what was now the basis for the apologies? What was now the basis of the engagement and interaction with stakeholders to subpedal and sheathe their sword? I mean, there are some things that you really don't need verification. I mean, whoever is the recipient of a slap should know that he was slapped or she was slapped, as the case may be. Don't you think so? I don't know if Collins is still there. We're having a bit of a network glitch. Yes, Collins, can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Please go ahead. Go ahead, yes.
What was your question, please?
Okay, I said, you said somebody was slapped. There's no video evidence to back it up. People went to social media to be talking about it. And I said, if somebody was slapped, whoever was slapped should know that he or she was slapped. If there was no slap, what was now the basis of the apologies that started flying around? And what was now the basis of those interaction and engagement with critical stakeholders for them to sheathe their sword, as it were, if there was no slap?
No, I'm not talking about whether I don't slap or Lagos slap or London slap. I was only just giving it as an instance. That was why I also made other references. What I was trying to say, people must verify it before they go into it. So slap probably was something that came into my mouth. I was not saying for or against. I was not talking about London slap or Edo slap or Lagos slap. I was just talking.
Okay, so we now have that categorization. We have the London slap, and then we have Edo slap. Everything revolves around Edo State, as it were. Interesting. But let me get your views on this. What do you make of the challenge of poor leadership in Nigeria in terms of positioning? We have several instances where it's as though the dregs of the society find themselves in exalted position. Is this a political menace, as it were? Where is this thought coming from that every time we have the opportunity to give people the opportunity to lead, we just don't get it right? Some say this is a political problem associated with politicians who always want the dregs of the society, the ragtags of the society, to get into such position so they can continue to milk the system, benefit from the system. They are afraid that when you get people who are so intelligent and maybe sophisticated into governance position or leadership position, as the case may be, their relevance will wane, that their relevance will dwindle, and they may not be able to exercise that level of authority or power in the system. What do you make of this as a challenge? I'm sure you have been one, you've been a victim of such a system.
Yes, you are very correct, my brother. It's quite unfortunate It is a trend that is not going on, but very, very sad. I am a victim, just as I said. Before this, our last election, I was in the race to work so hard, and I did my best because I want to become a commissioner. And behold, 11 out of 12 of my ward constituency through their representative prayed and endorsed and blessed me. The governor was happy to have me as one of his commissioners. But you always have this problem that even some of those leaders who have always prayed that you even deserve to be president, when the time comes, they feel that the food is ready, they begin to reanalyze and feel that probably, just as you have said, you may not do their business. And they will look for their brother, their cousin, their nephew, in some cases their wife. And everybody begin to escape that they are not the ones that did it. But you leave everything to God, because who you are is who you are. But we must continue to be persistent. We must continue to give our best. And sometimes they are not the fault of the governors. Most times they do these things to leaders, to your leaders in your area, to make recommendations. In your front, they recommend you. Behind, they say you look stubborn. You can't be controlled. They go back and say something else. But you are not there at all times. But nothing is forever. Power is not forever. So, but we must continue to join and make sure the system works. But it is a very wrong precedent, is a wrong signal to the society, to the country, even in the world at large, when nepotism and awardity become what people appreciate. But however, even when their own is not doing well, you will see them put it on social media, beg people to help them to be spreading it and what have you, that the person is doing well. But when you ask for the empirical evidence, it's not there. But we hope and pray that subsequently things will change. And we must be patient, we must be steadfast, we must be patriotic in everything we do. I think that is what is more important. Just as I said in my earlier assertion, when you ask this question, I can't run away from it. But the fact is that things must move on, society must move on. But someday someone will come who will wish for the best in order to get the best result, and then, do the needful. But in some cases too, when some of these governors and presidents and local government chairmen does not so listen to these so-called assumed leaders who are leaders for themselves. Some of them are leaders for themselves, because the truth is that without the money they are getting from backyard, they can't even control 20 people, because their precedent and records have shown that most of them are empty leaders. But because they already have so much money, they can then use the money to mobilize people out at a dime minute. But tell them to call people out without money. Nobody will answer them. That is where you know that they are empties. So, but in all share, they keep painting it as if it's okay. But it may be okay for them, but it's not okay by God, it's not okay by the ancestors. Because those who will join His Majesty to repair the state, to repair the nation. That has been our prayer. And by God's grace, God has brought Senator Modu Okpebholo to come and help to repair those states, for the general of all of us. And even as he's doing his appointment, we also pray he has the wisdom of King Solomon, so he can identify those who can assist him to make this work and work perfectly well.
All right, Comrade, let's just look at the national politics for a moment. There's this strong feeling in the northern part of the country that the government of the day under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not carrying the North along in terms of appointments, in terms of positioning, in terms of placement, and all of that. And that seems to be a major concern. We have seen major defections in the country, particularly with the ADC coalition platform. You have a lot of leaders in the North, leadership in the North that are queuing behind, this coalition platform. What do you make of this seeming disconnect between the government of the day and northern leaders, northern stakeholders, especially in the build-up to 2027? And how do you think this can be checkmated by the party, by the government of the day, to ensure a very successful outing in 2027?
I disagree with you on this, Sonny, because one, we have over 200 million Nigerians, and we have over 25 portable and standard politician, million politicians in Nigeria. And I can bet you it's not up to 2% in the north that you are talking about, out of 100% that are politicians, that are with Atiku Abubakar in the so-called ADC that is even fashionalized. Now, let me tell you, those few that are with him are those who have left the party even during Buhari government, and some during primary. Some came back. The desperation that they did not get appointment only in 1 month, they ran away because their own is food is ready. I must get. While there are people who have been building party, fighting so hard for over 15 years to make party, they are still not getting anything, and they are still firm, they are still there, they are still helping the party to do the right thing in order for election to be easy. But for them, once they jump in, if they don't get, the next 2 months they jump out. That is people that are inconsequential. So those are some of those elements. Name them. Who are those people in the north that are disaffected? Either they are from PDP, that the umbrella becomes so tall, they have nowhere to hide, they have to run away. They went to AA, AA had no food, they left, some left Labour. Labour was divided by their senior adopted brother who stole away another man's presidential ticket, promised that he would be their leader, he could not be their leader, he also ran away. So they are all destabilized. Okay? Politicians, call politicians that all their own is to enrich themselves. Once they lost out, they must look for something to say. They must do as if they are much. Ask them, how many are they? Are they up to 20? Bring them out. Let us get their list. They are not. They are making it look as if it's there. Let us see what you call now, for example, and see how many people will line up. Then you now ask yourself, how many is remaining? How many governors now in the north have they been able to woo to ADC? How many House of Reps and Senators have they been able to woo? How many House of Assembly have they been able to move? None. None. You are saying about the people. Who are the people? There are some leaders who are sophisticated, who can manage the people. I'm not talking about some few leaders who are selfish, who will have to call their cousins, their children, their nephew to acquire every opportunity when they come. But I'm talking about people who believe in people, who believe in system, who believe in structure. So many leaders build structure, and their structures they will never allow to be altered. And because their citizens and their supporters believe in them so much, they will never deviate from their leadership. So, my brother, don't be deceived. Asiwaju 2027 is undoubtable and untouchable. Do you know why? His policies reform is wonderful. His security reform is wonderful. It may not have been the best, but he's doing his best. He's doing a long-term prosperity for Nigeria.
How do you justify the statement that his security reforms, they are wonderful, when we have witnessed countless number of kidnapping, especially children? I mean, we're not talking about the daily, activities of kidnappers across the country. So how wonderful are his security policies when all of these things are happening back to back? How wonderful.
Let me tell you, before now, Chibok guys were arrested. Chibok guys were kidnapped. And when they were kidnapped, throughout the whole of that administration, they could not find them. Now, they did some in his government. You can see how quick his response was. You can see his action, and you can see how rescues were made. Yes, security is not just burdened on the president. It's burdened on the governor and the local government chairman, because they all collect security votes. At all their levels, governors should learn to also protect their borders in their own little way. Governors and local government chairmen can also secure their borders. Local government chairman takes security votes. If you don't know, let me tell you. So a local government chairman can protect his own border from another local government. Let us be factual. You cannot expect Abuja to be running. To our brothers and our sisters in the police, we must also be refining them from home. Let them show some level of patriotism. In a situation today where police will see young boys walking on the road, they will hold their vehicle. The next thing they will put Igbo inside their motor and say, go to the station. We have caught you with something. Right to their face, they know that was fabricated, it was forged, just to make money. So we saw some kidnapping that came up yesterday. Somebody in immigration and another one in civil defense. Learn to kidnap their own elder brother and carted away with 30 million because their brother worked with an engineering company and he made so much money. And at the end of the day, it got leaked and they caught them with the money. It's in the same Nigeria. So there are a lot of sabotage at all corners. We must also work on ourselves. Our parents must work on their children. Our elders, our traditional rulers must work on their people. Today, when you see one small children, one small boy who collected money from a fed governor, we stay somewhere in London, we stay somewhere in America, and from there, because he knows that the sovereign of state will not allow them to just move there and pick him away, start insulting his father, insulting his mother from their home, insulting his traditional ruler, insulting his governor with impunity, and you think that is fine? Going around spreading false rumor. These are the things we are talking about. These are the things we are saying. When there are a lot of decadence in the society, little can a government do when it doesn't have the capacity to do it. Little can a father not do, or a traditional ruler not do, when it does not have the opportunity to do it. But at the time that we have opportunity to check the hills, let us always do.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Collins Amadi Osaga. It's been a pleasure having you on the show this lovely Sunday morning to ventilate your views and perspectives on a wide range of national issues, which of course needs urgent attention, adequate attention from the government of the day. We just believe that if this country must move forward, we must learn to do things right and do the right things at the right time, just to ensure that things are on proper course. That's the only way we can move forward. And then, of course, there must be unity, not just in words, but in action. We can't be having some cacophonious musings on the northern part, southern part, western part, and eastern part of the country, and then we believe that we can move forward as a people. That's not going to happen. The country, particularly its leadership, must have a common course for us to navigate these times that we are going through. And Mr. President must show leadership, commitment, passion, and dedication in addressing all these issues. One of the things that has come out very strongly, that has been on over the years, is the fact that those who are financing terrorism, banditry, their names are all over the place. Those who are sponsoring these bad guys, their names are all over the place. But we can't see, or we're yet to see, the government of the day going after these people. The United Arab Emirates and I think Saudi Arabia some time ago made some huge publications about these people. They are known to security agents, whether the police, the DSS, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. They are known within the security circles. What are we doing to ensure that these people are brought to justice while we're allowing them to go scot-free? You know, when someone does something wrong and is not disciplined or dealt with in accordance to the law, that becomes an incentive. It sort of incentivizes other people to do such a wrong thing. And so we have a vicious cycle continuing. And that's why the country is where it is today. But we're hoping that Mr. President will show that level of leadership, not caring whose ox is good. I heard some stuff about the new Minister of Defense, the former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who we were told has instructed the soldiers that, look, you don't need to wait for any command to bring down anybody that you know is after your life. And that anytime you hear such a thing from a soldier, you know that such a soldier is not ready to do the job. That from their briefing, their training, they are supposed to go out and engage these people. But we've also heard complaints, concerns from even the soldiers that their equipments are not there to engage these people. And that seems to be a major challenge for General Christopher Musa, the current Minister of Defense. Please, you have a whole lot to do. When you were the Chief of Defense Staff, the complaint was that you didn't have the political power. Now, you are now the Minister of Defense, so you have the political power, you have the professional experience, you have the network. So go all out and let's bring sanity, peace, and tranquility to Nigeria so we can have a viable environment for the country to thrive again. We should not sacrifice our projections for 2027 or sacrifice the governance, the prosperity, and the peace and security of Nigerians on the altar of 2027, because that seems to be the major talking point. We've seen state governors moving left to right, particularly moving to the APC, and they say they are happy with what Mr. President is doing. But there are those who are saying the happenings in the north is fueling the defection to the APC. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is enjoying all of these. The APC is enjoying all of these. But we hope that they can match words with action and change the tide of the country in terms of development. That's a wrap on the show this lovely, lovely Sunday morning. We hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. Big thanks to Comrade Collins Amadi Osangai, former Senior Special Assistant to the State Governor on Youth and Community Mobilization, for joining us at such a very short time. In some few minutes, we'll take the news update. After the news update, we'll be bringing you a broadcast of the 2024 edition of the Miss ITV Nigeria Beauty Pageant. Remember, the grand finale holds today by 3 p.m. at the Ahizwa Hub and Event Center, 85 Airport Road, directly opposite our corporate office, Glasshouse Airport Road, Benin City. But just take a look at what happened in the year 2024 to give you an insight into what to expect for the year 2025, talking about this year's edition. But that will be coming up right after the news update. Please stay with us.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Many thanks again for rejoining us. Thanks for staying with us on the news update for this time. The Edo College Old Boys Association, ECOBA, has elected a new National Executive Committee led by Engineer Greg Ogbefun at its 2025 Annual General Meeting and Convention held at the Constantia Hotel and Suites, Airport Road, Benin City. The convention, which opened with a review of the previous AGM, featured key reports, committee briefings, and the formal dissolution of the outgoing National Executive Committee led by former Edo State Governor Chief Dr. Lucky Nusahai Igbenedion. Donald Ahimie completes the report.
The 2025 Annual General Meeting and Convention of the Edo College Old Boys Association, ECOBA, held at the Constitutional Hotel and Suites, Airport Road, Benin City, featured the election of members into a new National Executive Committee that will steer the affairs of the association for the next 2 years. Earlier, delegates opened proceedings with a review of the previous AGM, where one of the national achievements of the outgoing administration led by ECOBA President worldwide, Chief Dr. Lucky Nusahai Igbenedion, was highlighted as the establishment and steady growth of the ECOBA Endowment Fund.
To the incoming leadership, I employ you to build on our achievements, innovate, and strive for excellence. To my fellow ECOBATs, I urge you to remain committed to ECOBAT's mission and vision.
The outgoing Secretary General of the Association, Executive Principal of Edo College, Mr. Justice Aigbe, commended the outgoing administration for their laudable achievements.
This club is doing very well. We have participated in internal and external competitions, and our performance has been top-notch. I want to thank all boys who have been very supportive. I want to pray that God continue to bless you.
Branch chairmen from within Nigeria and the diaspora also presented updates on activities and progress across their various chapters. This was followed by the constitution of an electoral committee paving the way for the formal dissolution of the outgoing National Executive Committee led by Chief Dr. Igbenedion.
I hereby formally move for the dissolution of the 2023-2025 Exco of Edo College Old Boys Association.
Chairman Convention Planning Committee, Reverend Dr. Collins Edebi, described the convention and annual general meeting as a huge success. Outgoing National Director of Socials, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, and Chairman of the Endowment Fund Support Committee, Mr. Bob Osagai, also delivered their remarks.
I humbly feel this convention should make a mandatory recommendation either to the incoming executive and with a time frame standing on Article 27 to give ECOBA a clean, audited report.
We're not going to be involved in taking loans, borrowing money, or making commitments. We will never do that. If we have to spend, it will have to be what we have.
A major highlight of the event was the voting process, which involved statutory delegates from Benin, Asaba, Lagos, Abuja, Warri, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and other branches. At the close of the balloting, Engineer Greg Ogbefun emerged ECOBA President worldwide. Other selected officers include Dr. Suleiman Brahmo, First Vice President Mr. Solomon Ikioda, Second Vice President Mr. Brian Ebon Akagi, National General Secretary Dr. L.O. Osayehoy, National Treasurer, among others. Several motions were raised, debated, and adopted at the convention that affirmed ECOBA's commitment to sustaining the legacy of Edo College and deepening alumni support for the institution. From Benin, Donald Ehiminyeng, ITV News.
The management of Edo College, Benin City, has held its 2025 9 Lessons and Carols amidst funfair. The ceremony reminded Christians of Jesus Christ's contributions to humanity. Wellington Akodejo reports that a former governor of Edo State and worldwide president of ECOBA, Chief Lucky Nusahai Igbenedion, donated a special Christmas meal for students, staff, and guests to mark the celebration.
Students of Edo College in a joyful mood thrilled staff and parents with Christmas songs, while various lessons were read by staff and invited guests. The hall venue of the ceremony was filled to capacity. In his address, the principal of the college, Mr. Justice Aigbe, said the ceremony was organized to remind Christians of the importance of Christmas and the price Jesus paid to save mankind. He appreciated the worldwide president of ECOBA, Chief Lucky Nusahai Igbenedion, for his fatherly role and unwavering contributions to the school.
Well, this has become a tradition in the school in recent times, and is basically to thank God for the end of the year. We hope to keep it up.
There were drama presentations and dances by the students. The Director of Examinations in the Edo State Ministry of Education, Mrs. Ero Ugiagbe, commended the management of the school for sustaining the tradition.
My children invited me and the school management also.
And I'm happy to be here because what I've seen today shows that the children really know the reason why they are celebrating.
Our parents and students also expressed appreciation to the management of the college for organizing the event, noting that it reinforces the significance of Christ's contribution to humanity as the world celebrates Christmas.
The children have been inspirational. The music ministrations, the drama piece was awesome. I believe the children have been a blessing to everyone who had come here.
It's wonderful. The whole carol, the lessons and everything, it is excellent. So I would also like to thank Chief Lucky Benedion because he's the one who's actually providing our refreshments.
9 Lessons at Carol is an annual event celebrated by Christians worldwide. From Benin, Wellington, Akodija, ITV News.
The federal government has been advised to genuinely carry out surveillance on some prominent leaders in the country if it is serious about winning the fight against terrorism. This was part of the submission of guests during the ITV and Radio Current Affairs program, Politics Today. Afosa Wangwe has details.
It is no longer news that terrorism, as orchestrated by Boko Haram sect and other dreaded groups, are tearing the country apart, with the government doing everything from its end to address the situation. Little wonder a new defense minister was recently sworn in. However, panelists on the program believe that the federal government can put the issue to rest once and for all when ready. A public affairs analyst, Dr. Yoha Osaze, and a cybersecurity expert, Uyi Edobo, who joined the program virtually from Canada, all explained the pains and the level of damages the terrorist groups have done to Nigeria within and outside the country. They enjoy government to urgently address the situation and save Nigerians from the pains of terrorism.
Because we are not taking any decisive measures to ensure that anybody who is found guilty, anybody who is found wanting his collaboration with this will be dealt with decisively, we will not find a headway.
Until we have a sit-down decision that we want to make the country work. It's just like, government is not able to provide water, we now start sinking borehole. Government is not able to do our roads, we start buying SUVs. So we are just looking for another excuse again. State police is not going to solve the problem.
Listeners on radio and viewers on television also contributed through phone calls.
The problem with this insecurity in the country is that our government, they are not sincere. That's why the problem is.
Politics Today is an audience participation program aired simultaneously on ITV and radio every Saturday from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning. From Benin, Efosa Uwangwe, ITV News.
And that's it on the news for this time. Be sure to join us much later at 1, and we'll bring you an update. And that's the package for this time on TMI. I want to thank you for staying with us. We'll leave you now with the 2024 edition of the Miss ITV Nigeria Beauty Pageant Grand Finale. Happy viewing.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body. But the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking about. That's what I said. So when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot breathe. And these women would stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Top on the list of the initiates was the eldest son of the Esama of Benin and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakare Igbenedion. 11 of his siblings, namely Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osenwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawaru Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osanwi Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osarene Igbenedion, Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Ukbonwa Enes Igbenedion, Osawe Igbenedion, Edosa Igbenedion, Dr. Daniel Omorige Igbenedion, Agbon Steve Igbenedion, as well as the Executive Director Operations, ITV and Radio, Chief Elder Ugbeide Nwonse. It was a vital aspect of Okada community's cultural heritage, which emphasized the significance of age, responsibility, and community service. Over 50 notable sons of Okada were also initiated. According to tradition and customs, those initiated, dressed in white traditional attire, were made to undergo some rituals, while the Odionwe pronounces blessings on them and assisted them to take a seat with the elders.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program, Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Ugeni Madonna, Imazedion, Orero, Obesni Agbe, Emanazo, or Ugeni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you ordain title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the Elders Council, an individual must have reached a certain age and must have made significant contributions to the community through leadership, service, or other meaningful ways. There was jubilation in the community as sons and daughters of Okada, both at home and in the diaspora, trooped out to be part of the ceremony with various homes of the initiates agog with festivities. Friends and well-wishers of those initiated into the Elders Council jubilated at the Ogwedion after performing all traditional rites. The elders, known as Edion, in company with their loved ones, danced to their various homes where guests and family members were entertained.
ITV, certainly the best. This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Hello everyone, it's another beautiful Wednesday afternoon and here we are on the program Woman to Woman. I'm Adesuwa Osawagie. You can call me Ade Baby if you like, but I am Adesuwa Osawagie. I decided to call myself Ade Baby this afternoon because every woman deserves to be a baby, pampered, loved, romanced, given everything a woman deserves. Respect and every other thing. All right? That is what a woman wants. And that is what a woman should get from a man. Not bows at every given time. So Woman to Woman is also part of the 16 days activism against domestic violence. And you know that once we're talking about domestic violence, women are usually the victims. We're not saying men don't fall victims of domestic violence, but 90% of domestic violence, a woman always is the victim. And activism against domestic violence is a crucial global issue. It's not a Nigerian thing, no. It's all over the world. So it's often marked by campaigns, events, and all to raise awareness and promoting action against it, all right? So this is what we're going to do today. Domestic violence, the legal implications, and of course the medical implications, what women have to go through, what women shouldn't go through when it comes to the issue of domestic violence. Joining me to discuss this very interesting topic, I have in the studio to my far left, I have Eniye Favor Omarige. She's a nurse, she is an educator, College of Nursing Sciences, University of Benin Teaching Hospital. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you very much.
And you're looking stunning this afternoon.
What to do? I'm being pampered.
You should be pampered. And I also have Tega Iswakbo. She's a principal partner, Justice Shields Consults, a legal luminary, if you must know. Tega, you're looking smashing this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Okay. Are you also being pampered?
Of course. By the right man.
By the right man. You see? You see the rider, buy the right man. All right, Tega, it's nice to have you join us today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I want to ask you some questions. As a legal practitioner, please describe domestic violence or what constitutes domestic violence in this our country, Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, domestic violence is any abusive or violent acts committed by one person on another in a domestic environment, in a domestic space. Now, a lot of times people think domestic violence just talks about physical abuse, you know, slapping, hitting, beating, and all of that. That's just like one of it, you know, that's like the physical abuse. But it goes beyond physical abuse. You have economic abuse, economic violence on either the man or the woman. You have emotional and psychological abuse. You have harmful traditional practices, talking about FGM, female genital mutilation, widowhood practices, and all of that. And then you have sexual abuse. All these are forms of domestic violence. So when you talk about physical abuse, you talk about beating, slapping, hitting, you know, battery, and, you know, assault, and all of that. And then you talk about physical, sexual abuse, rape. We have marital rape these days.
So a man can actually rape his wife?
Yes, a man can actually rape his wife. When you are telling your wife, oh, come, and the wife is saying, I don't feel like it, or maybe I'm sick, or I'm not up to it, and all that, and you actually force yourself on your wife without her consent, that is marital rape.
What is the legal implication of this?
I mean, the man can get some criminal penalties for it, if it is proven that the woman actually did not give her consent.
So how can it be proven that a wife did not give her consent?
I'm sure the woman will sustain injuries.
During marriage, when we take vows and all of that, you promise to submit and all of that.
Yes.
So this is very kind of tricky.
By injuries, you know, the woman can sustain injuries because it is forced. It's like you're perpetrating violence against that woman. It is forced. If you look at, you know, private part, you can see the evidence that this is actually forced. It's not willing. It's not voluntary. It's not with the woman's express consent. Do you understand? So that's a form of violence.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Tega. This one, men raping their wives is... It's one kind to the ears. You know, it's one kind. Let me put it that way. I think that should be a topic for another day.
Yeah,
it should be a topic for another day. I'm going to save that. Tega, I'm going to bring you back to come and talk about that.
That's no problem.
And I know a lot of women will be interested. Okay, Favor, let me ask you this now. You know, you see a woman on the street. What happened to your face? Oh, I hit it on the wall, or I slipped in the bathroom. How can you slip in the bathroom and it's only the face that you will hit and all of that, you know? There's so many story. Now, let me ask you this question that I have prepared for you, all right? How does domestic violence affect the woman's mental health? Because this is woman to woman, and we're doing domestic violence that concerns the woman, that affects the woman. So talk to me, the mental health of a woman who is being abused.
The mental health of a woman that's been abused, it's a complex matter. Because this woman is going to be outside being physically bruised or physically injured. She's going to be traumatized mentally. She's going to have very unstable mental health. Either she's going to slip into depression, you know, she's going to start living a life in anxiety and fear, all right? And then this set of women are the ones that will have post-traumatic stress disorder, where at every point in time they are nervous, they are scared, they are afraid, you know, and because of that particular experiences they're having, they find it difficult to relate with people outside.
So what about women who don't even talk and they suffer all of this is in silence? What's the way out for such women?
A lot of
medically,
they have to open up, because the challenge we have is many of our women don't open up because of stigma, you know, and all of that.
and bear it.
And you know what will people say? Bear it. We believe that you are answerable to your husband. So anything that the man does to you, swallow it. You know, rub it like cream, enjoy it, and all of that. No, but when our women speak out, there are a lot of solutions for them. But the challenge that we do have is they don't speak out. But I would suggest that we can impute screening, traumatic screening into antenatal care. You know, when women come for general checkup, we can bring in, and in the process of doing that counseling and screening, you discover that some of these persons are even in an abused relationship and don't even know that they are being abused. They just believe that, oh, as a child, my father used to beat my mother, and they were fine, so it's a norm. My husband should beat me.
So what kind of injury should we look out for? Because some women will not talk. Yeah. Some husbands, there was this case that was brought to me on radio, and if you see the woman's lap, the man does not beat her where people will see. He goes to the lap and the buttocks. That's where he hits, and then the back. But she showed me because we are women and nothing to hide. She wanted help, and that's why she did all of that. So what kind of injuries should we look out for? What kind of injuries should we look out for on the face, the hand, the legs, you know, so that when a woman is telling you, oh, I slipped and fell, oh, my son was playing with something and that thing hit my face, oh, my head, when NEPA took lights, I didn't know, I ran into the door that you have been passing since God knows how many years. You know, so what kind of injuries should we look out for? You look out for bruises, blunt wounds, where you see a woman underneath her skin. You cannot see obvious cuts, obvious injuries, but it's called that she's looking puffy, looking skin is looking. There's something we call erythematosis, where there's blood underneath her skin. Why? Because the man has beaten her so much that she's bleeding underneath her skin, and then. You know, look out for those kind of injuries. Look out for injuries in our, at her back, you know, laps, where she usually will cover. Then her face, her neck region. Look out for broken bones too, fracture. Because some of these women carry the fracture, and they just say, yeah, no, I just slipped in the bathroom. And then look out for a black eye. But these women carry black eyes. You know, missing tooth. Their tooth will be missing. They'll just say, I fell in the bathroom, and they'll come to the dental clinic. Sir, I had an accident and my tooth and all of that. Meanwhile, it was better battle. Meanwhile, it was original beating. No, original war in the home. Barrister Tega, what steps should a victim of domestic violence take to ensure her safety and protection, putting into consideration the fact that they know they talk? So what steps should a victim take to ensure her safety, her protection? Okay, first, like I'm not. Or what does the law provide for such a woman? Okay, so first, the victim of domestic violence has to speak out and speak up. You know, and then make sure you tell your family members, maybe your pastor. Although time and again has proven that some of our pastors will encourage that the victims stay there and say, don't worry, be praying and all that. But shall speak out and speak up. Tell your family members, tell your church members, tell your close friends. They might just know what to do. And then seek professional help. Because like we have said, one of the traumas that you can suffer is psychological trauma. You might not even know. Do you understand? And then you can stretch it further by reporting to the police. At every of our divisions, we have family units where you can go and report. You can walk into the police station. In the police station. Ask for family units. Family units. You can Women, I hope you're listening. If you're a victim of domestic violence, enter a police station. The police is your friend. Ask for the family units. Yes. Okay. They are very well trained these days. The family units, you go there, you explain yourself, you make your statement, and then they will take it up. You can also approach any of these NGOs. We have a lot of NGOs scattered all over the places doing the same thing. You know, we have FIDA, International Federation of Women Lawyers. We do our services free of charge Pro bono,
yes,
free
pro
of
bono.
charge.
You don't have to pay any money.
Okay.
We also have the Human Rights Committee in the NBA.
Okay.
You know, they also do pro bono services. In the Ministry of Justice, we have citizens' rights.
Okay.
So you can walk into the Ministry of Justice on the 3rd floor.
So you have mentioned 4 now.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, we also have the SAC Center. I think that is somewhere around Benin Motel Plaza, behind Benin Motel Plaza.
Okay.
SAC Center means Sexual Assault Center.
Sexual Assault Center.
Yes,
Okay.
where you can go there, lay your claim. It's a one-stop shop for anything concerning domestic violence. So you have doctors there, you have counselors there, you have lawyers there, you know, just different decks. So you go from one desk to the other, and they do it pro bono.
So a woman should not suffer in silence.
No.
Because you know that there are some families that will encourage the woman to stay.
Stay back.
Bear it. Your children are there.
Yeah.
You want another woman to come and knock your
enjoy
children's
it.
head. You know, they will sermonize. They will tell you, it is not in our family for you to divorce. And
divorce or
nobody has
separate.
ever divorced in our family.
It's
All
a
of
taboo.
that is the hair. That's the word. It's a taboo. All of that will be heaped on the woman. And in the long run, the woman may not be able to talk. All right, we'll take a very short break now. When we come back, we'll ask more questions, and then we'll wrap it up woman to woman. But be rest assured that there is help. There are places you can go to seek help. All right, let's not allow this 16 days of activism go in vain. If you are a victim, Biko, open your mouth and talk. That same mouth you use in gossiping, use it to talk. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to the program Woman to Woman on Independent Television. There is nothing to be proud about. A man who hits his wife at every and anything. You want to change wives, you hit the one at home so that she leaves. Your girlfriend is there. I don't know how. Let's just do this one. How do men get so affected by side chicks to the point that they go home and then unleash terrors on their wife? What do these side chicks do that the wife cannot do?
I think it's just a matter of perspective. And you know what they say now, new thing they catch where. So
shark.
you meet a girl that you have not really stayed with, you don't know her, and she's doing some kind of small things to entice you, and you think that is just the end of the world. Forgetting that the time you met your wife, she was doing those things that really got your attention. That one don't fade. So you are now seeing a new girl that is tracking you, and it will fade with time. True. If you notice, they go from one to the other, and they keep telling you, oh, she has become a bad girl. All of a sudden. Do you understand? I think it's just that new thing they catch.
Why? Because sometimes I just sit there and say, why is the one at home not usually enough? Why? Why is the one at home not usually enough?
It's lack of self-discipline. Yes, it's lack of self-discipline.
And then when you go and come back, you say, nah, devil, I sorry.
And then when they see Pepe outside, they come back home and start begging.
I'm sorry, my darling wife. None of that. Okay, Favor, let me ask you this question. Now, you know that accessing healthcare services ordinarily is a difficult thing for women.
Yeah.
A woman would rather buy clothes and all of that than seeking help. So, how does domestic violence impact a victim's ability to access healthcare, and what barriers do they face in accessing this healthcare?
One of the ways that domestic violence affects victims' ability to access healthcare is the fact that they have restrictions from their perpetrators.
Okay.
You see that their spouse that beats them up will block their access to accessing healthcare because they don't want them to expose them. All right?
I'm listening.
And then another way that it affects them is, again, shame and embarrassment, stigma. They don't want people to know that, so they keep to themselves that they are being beaten and battered by their spouses. And then, there are no special, in most health facilities, there are no special designated areas, just like she was saying about the legal units where they have areas that cater for domestic violence. We don't really have those areas in quotes for
special places,
special place where people that have that concern go. in as much as we're looking at reproductive health, in medical field, we have what we call reproductive health. And domestic violence has to fall under, or intimate partner violence also falls under reproductive health violence and all of that. But then we don't have it like, oh, this unit is for domestic violated women.
So do you
sometimes
suggest
it's
that
a limitation.
something like that should?
I think so. I think, you know,
special unit
they should
like
have
that.
a special unit where women can come and they are confident enough, and then healthcare personnel should be trained. They should not be judgmental, because another challenge is when you go to the hospital and you're like, when you eventually manage to open up and say, it's my husband that beat me, say, Unamas, not too much.
That's true.
You know, that woman automatically goes back into a shell and she's not ready to open up again. All right?
That's
so I
very
think
sad.
healthcare personnel should also be trained specially to handle domestically violated personalities.
That's a huge one. We'll see how we can push that. Okay, Tega, time is not our friend anymore. So what advice would you give to someone who is experiencing domestic violence, and where can they turn to for help? I know you mentioned some. Can you just re-emphasize the places they should go to and just give them advice? Just advice that you will give to someone. I'm your client now, and no, not be Misha. Somebody is your client, and that person is being battered and beaten. And you know, another thing, most women think, no matter how educated that woman is, they think that approaching a lawyer is one huge thing. Lawyers are your friends. They are approachable. And then they think about the finance. And then they think about so many things. And you know, all of that and all of that and all of that. So what advice would you give to anyone, somebody, a beautiful, good woman out there who is experiencing domestic violence, and where can they turn to for help?
Okay, so just to add to what I said earlier about speaking up, speak out, seek professional help and all that, I also think, I always advocate that the victims should leave that environment. Because if you die, you will just lose out.
Exactly. Living in an environment is quite difficult. Where would that victim go to?
It is. Okay, we have a lot of NGOs that provide shelter for domestic violence victims.
Okay.
We have shelters all over. One is, I think even the Women Affairs, they have shelter now. We have Pathfinders Justice Initiative.
Okay, I know about that.
Yes. So we have shelters. If you approach FIDA, we can refer you to the shelter. Do you understand? So it's just a matter of identifying the NGOs, you know, that deal with cases like this, and then they'll be able to refer you if they do not have a shelter.
Okay.
Yeah, so
there is hope for victims.
Yes, there is. There is. But it's also left for the victims to be resolute, to be able to pursue their abusers. Because we have had a lot of cases where we take up this kind of issue, and at the end of the day, the woman or the man will just come and say, please, I beg, and then you know, say it go be like this. Family, they, I mean, a case in issue is this woman that the husband cut off, shot her hand, and the hand was eventually amputated.
Yes,
we took up that matter.
case.
NGOs all over took up that matter. At a point, she came and she went to court and wrote an affidavit saying she's withdrawing the matter. She doesn't want to prosecute the husband again, and he's a devil work. So you begin to ask yourself,
what if she has died
in the process? Do you understand? So
you know how can they deal with family pressure? You know, family pressure is another thing. Imagine a woman whose hand was amputated as a result of the husband's misbehavior with her, or is that misbehavior or outright wickedness?
I mean,
how do you shoot your wife in the arm for if you're tired of a woman, let her go. You know? People will only talk. They only talk for a while, and that matter will fade off. So how do we deal with family pressures? We are women here. Let's leave our profession now and talk as women. How do we deal with family pressures?
I think it's, like I said before, it has to do with the individual. You have to be resolute. You have to tell yourself that this is me, this is my life. So no matter what they do, no matter what they tell me, I want to pursue this. Because if you leave that man on the loose, he will go to that person. He will go to his next victim. And it keeps going on. And also you need to send him to the cleaners for his sake and for the sake of maybe his children and the society.
Okay, anyway, as a woman, and I know that you're a counselor, you're a pastor, you are so many things rolled into one. How do we train our men? Because Home training is another thing. In some homes, the male children are treated differently. A male child can just sit down comfortably, stretch his leg on the TV and say, give me water, give me a remote. Don't you know that I'm a man? Because that's what daddy does. Don't you know that I'm a man? For which person house you want to do that? And here, please just, how should we raise our sons so that tomorrow we don't raise a wife bitter? We don't raise a son who will shoot the wife. Entitled men. How do we deal with this so that tomorrow when your daughter is married, you know that, my daughter is going to marry a man who will show empathy, who will show some concern for that woman. I just, please, let's talk. How do we raise our sons as we wrap up now?
I want to beg mothers, plead with mothers. Let's spend time with our sons like we spend with our daughters. The challenge that we do have as mothers is we have time for our daughter because we are afraid. We don't want them to bring unwanted pregnancies home. We don't want them to be this. We don't want them to be that. But indirectly, we have a way of neglecting our sons. So if every woman in the society takes a male child as an agenda to train positively, we'll have a better man tomorrow.
Okay.
So as mothers, please don't pamper your sons in a way that they'll become nuisance to the society. Rather, tell them they should be treated, they should be, you know, they say do what you want others to do, what you want to be done to you, do it to others. So treat this son, let the sons treat these ladies like themselves. If they begin to see their sisters like themselves, you allow them to live equally, no gender bias in the house. It will have a long way to pass a message to these young men when they grow up that, oh, whether she's female or I'm male, we are one and the same. And when this mindset is in there, it's difficult for the male or the boy to raise his hand against any female out there. Start it from your home. Start it from your children, the male and the female. Don't allow the boys to say, come, what's his name? John, beat favor for me. You know, some mothers, we are good at it. Yes. Let your brother come today. Come. Beat joy for me. No. Okay. Let's, allow our girls and our boys to grow like the male and female that they have.
All right, in a minute, Barrister, please talk to those men. Let them understand that their sons are watching. The ones who have this entitlement, I am the man, that kind of a thing, I'm in their house. Forgetting that their sons are watching. Please talk to them in a minute so that we leave.
Yes, our Nigerian men, our African men, there is no entitlement in this matter. If you fall foul of the law is going to come at you. Because there is no sacred cow here. There is no sacred cow here. A woman and the man is equal under our law. There is no, this is the man, he has this right. The woman has this right. What happens to the man under the law happens to the woman too. So you must train yourself and train your children to be under the law, to act well and to act appropriately.
Okay, so ladies, together we say, let's say a big no to domestic violence, okay? No! We don't want. No. You don't reach like that.
Exactly.
All right, thank you guys for watching. Be that man that you want your daughter to be married to, or your sister or your cousin. Otherwise, you will bite your finger as well. Bye-bye.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. It is also relevant in our coronation in Africa. It is a sport and indeed very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Akwe seed. Ayo or Akwe game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Akwe game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Thank you so much for joining us on this first edition of the program News Review. In this month of December 2025, I am Deborah Iviogbe. Thanking you so much for joining us. The National Economic Council January Conda Review approved the sum of 100 billion naira subject to the final ratification by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for rehabilitation of training institutes for police and other security agencies in Nigeria. This was part of the decision taken at its 154th meeting held virtually on Wednesday.
The 154th National Economic Council meeting was chaired by its chairman, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and attended by Governor of 36 states of the Federation and the FCT minister who joined online. NEC, after deliberation, approved the sum of 100 billion naira for the rehabilitation of training institutions for the police and other security agencies in the country. This followed recommendation by the ad hoc committee earlier constituted to assess the state of police and security agencies training institutions nationwide. NEC also approved the sum of 2.6 billion naira for consultancy services for the project. President Tinubu, on the 152nd meeting of NEC in October, proposed an overhaul and revamping of training institutions for security agencies nationwide. The chairman of the ad hoc committee, Governor Peter Umba of Enugu State, in his presentation to council, underscored the urgency and significance of the condition of the training facilities, saying most of the training institutions are in their condition. Following the presentation by the governor, the chairman of NEC, Vice President Shettima, reaffirmed the commitment of government to address the situation. Shettima also charged governors of the states in the federation to ensure that economic reforms by the state's government translate into clear, measurable improvement in the lives of Nigerians.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our work today is a demonstration that governance is meaningful only when it improves the lives of the people. Our task is not to admire problems, but to solve them. It is not to explain challenges, but to overcome them. And it is not to hope for progress, but to engineer it with the tools available to us.
From the Asura Presidential Villa, Abuja, I'm Ikaro Atta, ITV News.
The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, says that as part of the Renewed Hope initiative aimed at empowering vulnerable Nigerians, the administration has provided 200,000 business grants to 250 persons living with disabilities across the 36 states of the Federation, including FCT. Defense correspondent John Turner reported that the beneficiaries include persons with disabilities in the armed forces and the police nationwide in commemoration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Now, from House of Representatives, we brought you this report here on the week under review that the Speaker of the House, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, said probing compliance with decommissioning and abandonment regulations across Nigeria's petroleum industry is necessary to ensure compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act, environmental protection, and to protect the welfare of host communities. The Speaker stated this at the inauguration of the ad hoc committee to investigate the decommissioning and abandonment regulations across the petroleum industry.
While expressing the demands and responsibilities of the ad hoc committee, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, says the probe had become necessary to ensure strict adherence to the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), especially on environmental protection, host community welfare, and life cycle management of oil and gas assets.
The work before this committee has wide-range implications for the well-being of host communities, our environment, and the credibility of our regulatory institutions. The committee is mandated to examine the level of compliance by industry operators with the law and to review the decommissioning and abandonment plans already submitted by the companies.
At the inauguration, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Basi Ekiba Ekpeyong, issued summons to the Managing Director of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority for failure to provide a essential document requested by the committee.
In carrying out this work, we shall engage with AUPRC and MDPRA as primary regulator. We shall also engage with operators and licensees across all basins, host communities, environmental and safety experts.
Not well equipped to ask questions on whatever presentation you will be making, because we did not prepare well as a result of non-availability of those informations to us. So instead of waste time today listening to him, we'll adjourn and go back.
Decommissioned oil and gas facilities pose serious risks, including environmental degradation, economic loss, community conflict, and safety hazards. From the House of Representatives, Ogani Victor, ITV News.
About coming Edo State reported on the week under review that the state government granted the hosting rights for the second edition of the NDDC sports competition scheduled to hold in Benin City in February 2026. The state governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, while accepting the hosting rights, appealed for intervention on the NDDC in the rehabilitation of road infrastructure across the state.
It's a historical moment for Edo State as Governor Monday Okpebholo received the right for Edo State to host the second edition of the NDDC sports competition scheduled to hold in Benin City in February 2026. Managing Director, NDDC, Chief Samuel Obuku, said Edo was selected among the 9 NDDC states to host the competition after an inspection of sporting facilities across the state. Obuku noted that the commission is using sports as a tool to promote regional unity.
When we looked around, we felt we have to come knocking on Edo State because, Your Excellency, your state have also done very well by having good sports facilities. And when we looked at the facilities, we felt coming to Edo State, we might not have too much work to do.
Governor Bolo, while accepting the hosting right for the second edition of the NDDC sports competition, pledged the commitment of the state government to partner with the NDDC in ensuring a successful hosting of the competition. He commended the improvements in the NDDC since the assumption of the 7th governing board led by Chief Samuel Obuku, especially infrastructure upgrade at Usain Polytechnic, internal roads in Ambrosalu University, Eboma, the Auchi Igara Road on the Benin-Abuja Highway, and other interventions across the state.
We have chosen the right state. We are not just heartbeat. We have what it takes to win every sport. I'm sure the one you hosted last year, we brought you our third 11, but we are going to release our first 11 now.
Chairman Edo State Sports Commission, Amadine Desmond Nabulele, assured that Edo State will take advantage of the opportunity to host a successful competition after the maiden edition held in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State in April 2025. Kingsley Uchebu, ITV News.
Now, talking security, we reported during Konda review that students and residents of Isi Balua quarters in Ohumudumu area of Ekpoma in Esan West local government area of Edo State were thrown into panic on Monday evening last week as 3 boys residing in a hostel were adopted by suspected bandits and taken into the bush. A visit to the area by our Edo Central correspondent, Chris Omige, on Tuesday last week revealed that the hostel has been deserted by other occupants for safety.
Over the years, activities of kidnappers have become rampant in Ekpoma and environs, making it difficult for residents to move freely, especially at night, despite efforts by the government to curb the menace. The trend resurfaced again at about 6 p.m. on Monday, the 1st December 2025, when 3 boys were kidnapped at gunpoint from their residential hostel in the Ihumudumu area of Ekpoma as they were driving into their compound, according to the brother of one of the victims.
As one is motor enter inside, I also open my backyard door for the guy who me repair gen. The next thing, the boy just they shout, "Kidnapper, kidnapper, Fulani, Fulani, Fulani." I just see my tongue. I said, "Tongue." Now I see one just whole gun, big gun. Just follow that guy where you car enter compound. Just follow enter. Before I see my look, I say, "No, play something." Tiri don't already they come. They don't already they enter compound. Now once I just jump fence, I almost speak to me and that, because now 3 people they carry, so. That guy, they carry my senior brother, still carry one guy. This guy, one guy, they up. A junior brother, they still carry him.
The father of one of the victims, Mr. Ojo, appealed to the government and relevant authorities to help rescue his son and others, stressing that he cannot bear the pain of losing his child due to his own health condition.
My son called me. He tell me, say they don't carry Akreo. I say, carry on like na police, I will say, na kidnap people, na they carry. Where they did, they say they don't carry the SSI bush. I beg government, I beg me help me. My son goes to sleep for side bush. My son goes to sleep for side, but me I go sleep for side. Yesterday, I don't sleep. Me they help us for other children. No, I never know where I did. I know where before.
Residents of Ihumudumu, who decried the recent surge in kidnapping incidents in the area, also appeal for adequate security measures to protect lives and properties.
We cry for governor, may come rescue, may help us. He get the power to rescue us.
Meanwhile, the adopters are yet to make any contact. At the time of this report, Edo State Police Command is yet to issue a statement on the kidnapping at Ihumudumu, Ekpoma. In Ekpoma, Chris Omije, ITV News.
From Edo State House of Assembly came the report last week that the House received a letter from the Federal Road Maintenance Agency in response to the appearance request in question on existence.
Edo Assembly witnessed significant development during Tuesday's plenary session as the Speaker, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebako, informed lawmakers about a letter from the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency stating that they would not be able to appear before the Assembly until mid-January. This comes in response to the House's request for FEMA to clarify their existence and activities in Edo State.
I just want to inform the House that we received a letter from them. That letter, that the agency will not be charged today to see us. by this letter, it means that federal is still existing.
From Benin, Joy Obaisiagmo, ITV News.
Also in the week, we reported that Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo approved the appointment of Dr. Ebojele Ahere Patrick as the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor. A statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Umar Musa Ihilo, Esquire, said Dr. Ebojele will be taking over from Mr. Fred Itwa, who will upon handover awaits a new assignment to be communicated in due course. The government expressed appreciation to Mr. Itwa for his contributions and service. According to the statement, the appointment reflects the commitment of the present administration to strengthen and deepen the communication channels between the government and the people of Edo State, assuring clarity, transparency, and effective dissemination of government policies, programs, and activities. Dr. Ebojele's journalism career spans reputable Nigerian media houses, where he served as Edo and Delta correspondent for Channels Television, as well as correspondent roles in New Nigerian Newspaper, Champion Newspaper, and Comment Newspaper. Now moving on. Independent television and radio, again, during the week, Konda Review was commended for its unwavering commitment to strengthening Nigeria's creative industry and supporting the growth of the film sector in Nigeria. This accommodation came during a courtesy visit by the Association of Movie Producers, Edo State Chapter, to the management of the station at its corporate headquarters on Airport Road, Benin City.
Chairman of the Association of Movie Producers, Edo State Chapter, Derek Osaro Igbinakenzwa, led the delegation and appreciated ITV Radio for its long-standing support to Edo filmmakers. He said many Nollywood careers were nurtured by the station and noted that the association seeks stronger synergy ahead of its annual events to honor astounding contributors to the creative sector.
Managing Director, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, with his impact in the industry, which have been felt by us, we saw the need to award him as one of the outstanding people that have stood with our association and organization over the years.
Responding, the Managing Director, ITV Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, who described the Nollywood as his primary constituent, reaffirmed the station's openness to collaborations, content partnerships, and monetization opportunities that will help producers expand their reach.
In terms of content, we have it. And I'm happy now that we can now stream and make money from digital and social media sources. Your movies are on different folders. If you don't have most of them on YouTube, we'll look for a way to gently monetize them.
Also speaking, the Provost of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter, Andrew Sawawu, appreciated the management of ITV Radio for what he described as an open door to the future.
Thank you for giving us this another warm opening. Bring your content, will give you a window to do more things. We thank you so much. Doors to the future can be opened, and you just opened the one right now.
Among management staff present were the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, Lady Celerina Ujomo, the Director, Independent Radio, Dr. Dan Omozusi, General Manager, Commercial Services, Mrs. Odum Balogo, and Deputy General Manager, Program Division, Dr. Sonny Duke Okosun, among others. From Benin, Ofure and Neto, ITV News.
In case you're just joining us, the program is News Review. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, the program News Review will continue. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned to the program News Review. Now moving on, the management of Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria said during the week Konda Review that the program has tremendously contributed to boosting tourism sector in the South Nigeria since its establishment decades ago, adding that this year's edition promises to showcase new innovations according to global best practices. The committee of the management of Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria, led by the chairman, Mr. Wilson Omasho, on Friday last week made the assertion during a visit to the management of the station with contestants in a pageantry slated to hold this Sunday.
It was glitz and glamour as the contestants for the 2025 Miss ITV Beauty Pageant Nigeria stepped in the administrative headquarters of the station on Airport Road, Benin City, to the delight of the management team led by engineer Elvis Obaseki, who was on the ground to receive the beauty queens. The chairman of the pageantry committee, Mr. Wilson Omasho, speaking on the essence of the visit, thanked the station for giving him the opportunity to serve and assured management that all the contestants have been groomed to ensure excellent performance on stage on the day.
I looked at the task ahead. I was like, can this be done? But then to say, guy, go on. We are solidly behind you. Thank God we are here today. And I can say that by God's grace, some days ago, we are ready.
The managing director of ITV and Radio, engineer Elvis Obaseki, addressing the August visitors, cautioned the guests to be of good character and behavior and uphold the tenets of the high standard of the station's reputation, while asking them to embrace teamwork as one person must emerge winner at the end of the event.
It's ITV Nigeria, so if you must carry that crown as our queen, we will not just allow you wear the crown and walk away and walk back to hand it over. So please, if you've not thought about the pet project, begin to think.
On her part, the Executive Director of Finance and Administration, ITV Radio, Mrs. Serena Ojemo, gave the contestants a motherly advice on the way forward in life.
It is not easy to decide, oh, I want to be a beauty pageant. This is like a career. Congratulations. I cannot but wish you well.
Other management staff present at the meeting include the ED Operations Senior Eda Ogbede Unwonse, Director Radio Pastor Dan Omozuse, General Manager Group Commercial Services Pastor Mrs. Odum Balogun, Deputy General Manager Pastor Sonny Duke Okuso, Manager Account Fabi Lusola, and Manager Administration Mrs. Juliet Isagboin were at the visit. The grand finale of the pageant is slated for Saturday, 7th of December 2025. From Benin, Wellington Akodeja, ITV News.
From Igbinejo Education Center came the report during Weekend Review that the center has held its annual speech and prize-giving day, a major event in the school calendar aimed at celebrating academic excellence and good character. The ceremony brought together students, teachers, parents, and administrators to reward outstanding performances and inspire others.
It was another historic moment at the Igbinejo Education Center as the school hosted its annual speech and prize-giving day, tradition designed to recognize students who have excelled both in learning and in character. The annual event is also meant to strengthen the school's commitment in raising disciplined and academically grounded young people. Awards in academics, leadership, discipline, and co-curricular achievements were presented to deserving students whose accomplishments drew applause from parents and guests. Some of the awardees described the recognition as a motivation to work even harder. They acknowledged the support of their teachers and encouraged fellow students to stay focused and committed.
I feel very excited, and I want to thank my mom for making me go far. I also want to thank my teachers for nominating me for the best behavior and most dutiful.
Thrilled and grateful to God for receiving this award. I'm profoundly humbled and honored to receive this award.
Thankful to God Almighty, my parents, my teachers.
I'm so glad, I'm so happy, I'm overwhelmed with happiness.
I thank to the founder, co-founder of this school. I thank the teachers, I thank the principal, I thank his fellow students, those ones who support him.
Principal of Junior Secondary School, Mr. Collins Emokpa, highlighted the importance of nurturing well-rounded students who reflect the values of the institution.
We designed this day to reward the students for excellence, for behavior and character. So you can see the joy and the excitement of our parents.
Extracurricular activities of the school continues. From Benin, Donald Ehimenyen, ITV News.
From the judiciary came the report during the week on Diary View that the High Courts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Maitama, granted the federal government's request to adjourn further hearing on the criminal defamation case against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan to February 23, 2026. Justice Chuzoba Oji, who ruled on the adjournment on Monday, said it will stand in the interest of justice. From the Nigeria's premier private university, Igbenedion University, Okada, came the report during the week on Diary View that the administration of the professional pledge and affirmation of oath by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria formally ushered 152 Bachelor of Nursing Science graduates of Igbenedion University, Okada, into the nursing profession. The induction ceremony held at the university main auditorium focused on strengthening professional standards under the theme, The Competent Nurse, Adding Value to Patient Care Through Best Practices.
Regardless of race, religion, status.
The ceremony commenced with the administration of the pledge and affirmation of oath on the inductees by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, Dr. Alhaji Ndagi Al-Hassan, represented by Dr. Mrs. Dorothy Nkuruka Ore, a moment that officially marked their entry into the noble nursing profession. Representing the Vice Chancellor, Professor Lawrence Ezemoye, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Raphael Adegi, charged the inductees to uphold integrity, competence, and empathy, noting that the complexity of the patient care requires unwavering commitment to global best practices.
As you step into the world, you carry the hopes of your families, the investment of this institution, and the trust of the countless patients you will serve.
Acting head of the Department of Nursing Sciences, Dr. Mrs. Veronica Uge, and Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Dominic Osagai, stressed that competence remains the cornerstone of safe, effective, and patient-centered care.
We are a source of hope in donating funds and foundation for building a healthy world. We must continue to expand access to quality care, integrate digital health tools, and foster interdisciplinary collaboration to address the social determinants of health.
Delivering the induction lecture, Professor Roselyn Esewe of the University of Benin emphasized the need for a sustainable nursing workforce supported by conducive work environments, continuous training, and adherence to evidence-based practices.
We are aware that the world is now a global village. Clients are now even more aware of their health conditions and treatment outcomes even before approaching the norm.
For the inductees, including the best graduate student, Kersitin Gospel, the ceremony symbolizes the beginning of a professional journey anchored on service, compassion, and lifelong learning.
I want to thank all my lecturers, my friends, my family, my church, my pastors. They've been part of this journey, and I want to appreciate everyone.
The ceremony, no doubt, paved the way for a new generation of nurses ready to add value to patient care and contribute meaningfully to Nigeria's healthcare sector. From Igbenedion University, Okada, Donald Ehiminyeng, ITV News.
The last edition for the year 2025 of ITV and Radio Prayer Session, the 35th in its series, was during the week on Diary View held in grand style as both management and staff of independent television and radio sang in appreciation of God's blessings in their lives.
Held at the St. Gabriel Hall, which is near completion of construction, the management and staff, led by the Managing Director, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, offer praises to God for His abundant blessings and sustainability throughout the outgoing year 2025. In his opening remarks, the Managing Director of ITV and Radio, Engineer Elvis Obaseki, thanked God on behalf of ITV for His provision, protection, and sustenance from the beginning of 2025 to last months of the year.
My dear colleagues, let this sink into us. Our God is too great with His wondrous works in our life. We are in business. We are hopeful. We are still receiving our love as I went due.
In a vote of thanks, the Executive Director of Finance, Lady Celerina Ojomo, thanked the Almighty God for bringing the station thus far and prayed him to keep independent television and radio under his wings. She therefore thanked the Managing Director, Elvis Obaseki, for the wonderful initiative.
Without such Dr. Gabriel Ibinion, we will not be gathered here. We pray that God Almighty will grant him good health.
Some management staff comments.
What God has done for us is marvelous. There are things we cannot do by ourselves except by the grace of God. And because we realize that, that is why we try to praise God.
It has been a very enjoyable time for me. It has been a moment of really praising God. We appreciate you for the privilege given to us, for keeping us alive and for making us to progress.
The St. Gabriel Hall is 90% completed. Oluwafemi Farayola, ITV News.
With that report, we call it a wrap on today's edition of the program News Review. Do not fail to keep a day to test next week Sunday. We shall be bringing the program News Review again. I am Deborah Ivie Obefon. I'll see you next week. Do have a lovely week ahead. Bye for now.
This is ITV. Certainly the best.
ITV. 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 Certainly the best.